Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Opening Bell Crypto. I am going to check on X, make sure my stuff's working here. I do have my the 15-minute chart. Hold on here. Let's get rid of. Okay, I've got my I got fiber optics installed a while ago. I ended up upgrade my, so I have that getting delivered and installed right after the show. Yesterday it was a little bit glitchy. So I believe it's just my connection. So hopefully that'll fix that. And I can also get a microphone and hold this right in front of my mouth. Installed right after the show. Okay, looks like that's working. Throw a little GM in there. Yeah, so anyway, hopefully that'll improve things. And if I have to, I'll get a new microphone or get one to where sometimes I tend to move around a little. But anyway, that's what's going on. I am going to shut a video because I think that takes up a little more streaming. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be back and good. And like I say, then we'll look at the microphone and either get a thing that holds it right in front of my mouth or just I'll try not to move around as much. But yeah, Bitcoin, we're starting out. The market's been open for about 7 minutes. Sorry, a little later. I do a little update on TikTok. Sometimes I have to do that over. It's about a quick 10-minute update. And sometimes I have to do it a couple of takes. But anyway, here we are, Bitcoin 70,303. Let me refresh that. We're down 1% for the day on Bitcoin. Ethereum 2,069. We're down about half a point. XRP $1.38, down about 1.5%. Solana pretty flat at 87.37. So it's doing a little slightly better for whatever reason. Welcome. If you're joining me on YouTube, Rumble, or here on X. And like I said, I am going to get my new router installed. Yesterday, had to end the show a little early. So I think it's just my router's not upgraded enough to work with the new fiber optics. Should fix everything. It's got to be that. My microphone and my computer. We'll get all new stuff if we have to. But yeah, market open. We're still obviously dealing with oil. They're calling it now the largest oil disruption in history. But Bitcoin 70,351. Let's go look at the markets where they were looking to open down about a third, about 2/3, three quarters of a point when I left to do that other update. Now we'll see where we're in at. Let me refresh it too, because sometimes it takes a minute. But yeah, the TradFi market, crypto doing a little better. Yeah, TradFi even opened up slightly worse than it looked like it was going to. We're down 8.82 of a point, down 1.15 on the Dow, S&P down 0.78. Gold 5,178. Take a quick peek at oil. Because it was up when I checked earlier, like $95 or so. Not surprising given they're calling it the worst. Yeah, 94.43, up 8%. So they're calling it the worst oil disruption in history. So not good. But anyway, let's cover some of the news here. Have to talk a little fast today since I got a little bit of a bad start here, but of a late start. But yeah, basically, crypto's holding up a little better in the TradFi markets. Opened up a little worse than expected, but we'll see what happens here in the next hour. Sometimes things can shift early in the first hour, but right now it doesn't seem like there's a ton of great news out there. Trump administration announced the gas prices will not return to pre-war levels until at least mid-2027 at the earliest. So we're seeing, obviously California's seeing like $8 I saw. Everywhere else is up. I think the national average like 360 or something like that. So up, 60, 70 cents on average, which is going to, not help anybody coming into the busy, if you're planning a road trip for the summer, going to Disney World, Disneyland, something like that. It'll affect everything. So right now, too, there's the uncertainty there's a quick solution. They're calling it the biggest global oil disruption in history. So that's not good when you start seeing that. It's going to cause fear. For sure, it's going to cause fear. China, they kind of came out and reprimanded Iran a little, said they're mad at Iran for striking their Gulf states. Yeah, it didn't make sense. It does make sense in the fact that they're really just trying to so bad that everyone doesn't want it to happen, wants to get it done, but they're definitely not making any friends. Most of those countries were either on their side or at least neutral, at least publicly from their public face in front, and they've definitely not helping that at all. But anyway, China coming out and saying it's kind of dumb, I think is good because they're obviously, I think they're just wanting to de-escalate this. And I think Trump and Xi are meeting in the next couple of weeks. Be nice to get this resolved. We got about 1,000 in the Straits of Hormuz, about 1,000 ships, including roughly 200 oil tankers, are waiting to pass through the Straits of Hormuz. The situation becomes increasingly dangerous because normally about 20 million barrels, so literally 1/5 of the world's oil supply goes through there every day. So right now, I think 3 ships got hit yesterday, including a Thai ship. I don't know if it was true or not, but one I heard American ship got hit by like a suicide boat or something. So it's kind of hard, right? And I don't know what happened to the Thai boat. Probably mostly drones, but anyway, definitely not healthy right now. So until we get this resolved, I think we best case stay sideways, maybe down a little bit. Now we saw that the IEA is suggesting the biggest release of strategic reserves in its history. America is going to release 172 million barrels from its strategic petroleum reserve to help curb these crazy prices. And I don't know what's going on with Khomeini. I mean, this card hilarious, right? The carbon cutout. Now I saw a bunch. He's going to come out with a statement or going to speak. I don't know if that's happened in the last 15 minutes or whatever. I've heard he's in a coma. I've heard his foot's hurt. I've heard his leg's missing. I've heard he's dead. So we'll see what's going on. So much varied reporting on this, but man, the cardboard cutout thing, that was just too much. I'd be very surprised if he comes out with a video message, but they said it was coming out any minute. That was about an hour ago. So it is what it is. Now, BlackRock, largest asset manager in the world, Larry Fink, their CEO, came out and said the Iran war could be prices in the long term. So interesting take. Hope he's right. And greed at 15. If you've been listening to my show or been listening to the GM Bitcoin for 4 years, you know it's one of my favorite indicators. Be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So we're going, I think, 41, 42 days in extreme fear. Now that tells you we've either bottomed, we're getting near a bottom, or, we're certainly, and I always say, nobody, it's impossible to always call the tops and bottoms exactly. I don't try. I subscribe to and you've probably heard me say it a lot of times, the philosophy that timing in the market is better than timing the market. So I don't really attempt to time the market. I just buy, and in times like this, it's already in my buy zone. I'm DCAing and I'm buying Bitcoin every chance I get. So, going on 45 days of extreme fear. So not as bad as it was. We got down 5, 8, 10. So it is rising a little bit. Of course, that's to be expected in these perilous times. Iran struck national airport. This stuff is not good, right? As long as I think in the future, I think you're going to see everyone beefing up their missile defense systems big time. I can see them doing a much bigger for a situation like this. And obviously, I think now all these people want to see the Iran a little bit because it's crazy. And they're going to have to be watched because they're all these cheap drones and have kind of changed the game. So you can't have $2 to $13 Tomahawk missiles or whatever they are shooting down $30,000 drones. That math does not work. Australia, they're telling all their non-essential officials to leave Israel and UAE. So UAE and Dubai are really getting handed to them right now. So many people not wanting to go there. It was such a great place, right? But it's so close to Iran that definitely they're going to have to. This is going to be a concern moving forward that maybe there wasn't in the past. I don't think people realize. I know I go there all the time. I didn't realize how close they were to Iran. They're literally one of the closest countries, right there on the Straits of Hormuz. So now on some good bank, the banking giant Barclays CEO said live on Fox that banks must adopt Bitcoin and crypto ASAP. So though they're reported, they may be investing as much $100 million against the Clarity Act and the structure bill, but do not want the competition. They're trying to protect their edge with that, but they're an old archaic system. It's going to change with and without them. Also, Italy's largest bank, Intesa Sanpaolo, is buying $100 million worth of Bitcoin ETF, probably or something like that. But we see it happening. We see smart money buying Bitcoin, and right now it's a small token amount, but eventually that's going to be a huge amount, a larger percentage, maybe 15, 20% of total assets over time, right? So when that happens, it's definitely going to affect the price of the Bitcoin to make it go up. So this is how it happens, right? And we know it happens. Most people don't get it. Most people are really feeling like it's not working or whatever they're thinking. They're wrong, and Bitcoin is chugging forward. And that's how it feels, right? This is when you make money. You don't make money. You make most of your money when you even yourself are kind of sick to your stomach after you hit that buy button. That's when true wealth is. It's just scary, right? It's scary to be down here with the volatility and fake news and Bitcoin underperforming year, but this is where the money's made. Grayscale Avalanche staking ETF GA starts trading today. So Avalanche, man, for those of you that are newer here, Avalanche and Solana were like two horses nose to nose, right? They both and they were both looked at competitors. Of course, Solana has been over since then. A lot of talk with Avalanche, stuff like that, but we'll see. Let's go take a peek over, see how the market's doing, see how Avalanche itself is doing. Bitcoin dropping a little. If we look at it on the hourly, yeah, you can see we dropped a little bit below 70. Now we're barely holding on to that. Though you see some good River. I think isn't River Charles Hodgkin's more privacy focused. It's up 23. Tau 6.2. Pi. I saw Pi is getting listed on Kraken today. High 4.8, Ender 3.9, Aster Pump, Cyrene, Virtual, Shib. So some are doing good. Let's find Avalanche on here. Is it such a small dot? I can't even see. Wow. Let me type it in. Number here somewhere. Down 1.5% for the day. Interesting. Well, I guarantee that will help a little bit. So we're hold on to struggling to hold on to 70,000 here since the other markets are taking such a hit. Get caught up here, but I think this Avalanche ETF will definitely help. It's also got staking, so yield on it. So it should be good for Avalanche. BlackRock also, they're launching today their ETH ETF that has staking. So you'll be able to, get the staking rewards. That could be huge, could be big for ETH because now they'll be sharing that with their investors. You'll be able to get some yield. I think that could be a game changer for the Ethereum ETF, to be honest with you. Ethereum overall. White House crypto advisor Patrick Wick argues that stablecoin yields will bring net new capital into the U.S. Contrary to fears of deposit flight, Wick claims that global demand for U.S.-backed tokens will force foreign capital into the U.S. banking system to back those very same yields. We've talked about how important it's going to be. I just think some banks will benefit, and obviously the U.S. dollar will benefit. Treasury bills will benefit. I don't know about individual banks, so I think they're seeing that they're going to lose a lot of their customers. MasterCard launches a crypto program bringing together 80 companies to develop cross-border transfers, B2B payments, global payouts. So MasterCard and Visa are very much on the forefront. They see this. They want to get and I think that they can be a big piece of this. NVIDIA is planning $26 billion over 5 years on open source AI models. Obviously, it kind of benefits them to see this technology, right? Since most of them are using NVIDIA chips. And the UN, according to AP, the UN refugee agency says people have been displaced. There's like 80-something million people in Iran. Huge country geographically, about a fifth the size of the United States, as well as there's a lot of population there. So, yeah, it'd be good to get this, There's some people really getting affected, people getting blown up. We saw the tragedy of that. We've been hearing about it for a while, that elementary school got hit and like 150 kids got killed. So, I mean, this kind of shit happens in war, and it's definitely not good. So like to see it get, we're worried about our price of our crypto, obviously, but still, man, there's bigger people who are really feeling the impact. People dying. Japan is going to reclassify Bitcoin as a financial product. So that's groundbreaking for them. Change the laws, a lot of things really was going to make a difference. Japan's been being really smart lately about this. So glad to see it. Artie's saying, I would let me buy Bitcoin every chat. Tell her she's the best. Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'm one of those that would put 100 assets in Bitcoin if I could. Mostly I do, but it's so hard. We've been programmed so much that we need to be diversified and stuff like that. But man, I mean, if you look at Michael Saylor and his commitment, and it's funny, you watch old movies, old videos of Saylor. He's been very smart. He's not a huge believer in diversity. He's like, why if you have a winner should you diversify? And you see that back in the day with Apple and some of his stocks. But yeah, I'll tell you, we should really be putting, in my opinion, not financial advice because everyone's different. In my opinion, you should be putting everything you can in Bitcoin. Try it for 2 or 3 years, and if it doesn't work out, maybe diversify then. But this is a window like we'll never see again. We'll never see again. But good to see Artie coming at me on YouTube. Cool, because I'm new to YouTube, so it's cool to see people listen live. Artie, known Artie for years and years here, OG in the space, known each other. God, how it has to go back, I would think 3-4 years at least. So good to see you, Artie. Join me. Yeah, she's awesome, and let you buy all the Bitcoin from me. But yeah, I know the struggle. We talk a lot about, especially about prediction markets. I use them all the time here. I think it's a really crazy niche, up and coming. Don't know exactly how yet, but nice to be able to participate. But CFT chair prediction markets, we're taking action by coming clear guidance that will help our exchanges self-certify contracts and have rule books. So basically, they're trying to regulate this a little bit, get rid of the fraud, insider trading, market manipulation. But that's a good sign that they're working with them, not against them. There are a few states that have blocked them, a few countries that have blocked them. The whole EU is trying to block them. They'll get left behind because there's a lot of money is going to flow into these prediction markets. I saw this, man. This is crazy. This told me I'm not working hard enough. Grower on crop hauled all his climbing gear in a trailer behind his bike, basically cycled roughly 8,000 miles from Sweden to Nepal. He then solo climbed Mount Everest, no Sherpas, no bottled oxygen, and then he got on his bike and rode all the way back to Sweden. So that is freaking crazy, man. Yeah, we're not working hard enough out here, man. What that tells me. Crazy, man. Crazy to see that. Oh, yeah. Initial jobless claims came in. 215,000 expected, 213 actual. Kind of a nothing burger. Basically flat. Shouldn't affect much. See if there's any. See if the Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever's kid came out and said anything. Because everyone's like, put a message out, seeing if any. Check my feed here, see if there's any word of. I bet it'll be a message. I don't think the dude's intact. Back, take one last look at oil. Crazy here. A lot of now trading on derivatives. Hyperliquids, 21 billion. I talked to you guys yesterday. It's like a 1.2 billion over there trading. I think even Blowfin now trade oil. Yeah, going up, of course. Let's take a last look at S&P. Oh, gotten even worse. Yeah, we're down. All of them are down like 1.5%-ish. So, yeah, definitely taking a turn for the worse, which is probably bringing down crypto a little bit. Yeah, Bitcoin struggling to hold that. No, he actually dropped a little below 70,000. So we're going on. We got the worst, they say, in oil disruption crisis in history. Still, we're doing okay, all things considered. Feel free to join me over in the in crypto space if you want over on X. Otherwise, appreciate everyone live. It is a Thursday. Well, I'll be here tomorrow morning. I'm just going to kind of predict we go sideways here. Unless, now it's just kind of how do we hold up between now and Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think we'll just kind of go sideways, maybe bleed a little, unless we get some better news out of Iran, Straits of Hormuz, unless we get some more better news out of the crypto bill. Other than that, I think we are where we are. This is a marathon, not a sprint. I call it a 10,000-mile death march. Thanks everyone for joining me. I'll have my new router installed here in a couple hours. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have even better. Won't have the problems we have yesterday. Get good stream coming to you. But appreciate everyone joining me. Have a great Thursday. You guys in the morning. Hopefully, maybe some better news. I don't know.